Does anybody ask a question to themselves as to who am I? Do we know who we are? In reality, we do not know who we are. So Bhagavan points this out to Arjun in Shlok 5, when he says that you and I both had many births. I know them all, but you do not. So underlying thing is we really don't know who we are. This is what is called ignorance. Ignorance has several phases. You can be ignorant about a lot of things. But to be ignorant about ourselves is really bad. If we don't know who we are, why don't we know? Because we have ignorance. Ignorance cannot go away without Gyan. And Gyan is only with Ishwar. Other Gyan cannot tell us who we are. They can tell us our body, our physical existence, they can tell us. They can tell where we live. They can tell where our name came from. All those things they can tell, but cannot tell who we are. So, this ignorance manifests in many, many ways. We know what we don't know is how to look. That's also ignorance. We look at something, but we look at it with the past thoughts, don't we? Whatever is ingrained in our mind, so that's why you show one object to 10 people, everybody looks different things into it. Whereas the object is only one, there should be only one way to look at things. We don't know how to look. Somebody says something, everybody makes a different interpretation of it. Right? We don't know how to listen. So, if we don't know how to listen, how to think, how to look, how can we act? So, if you look deeper into the Gyan of Karma, we are not acting. We are being told to do what we are supposed to do. You see? Who is doing that? Devata. They brought us in this world and gave this body and put all the environment around us to do what they want us to do. Right? And make us think like we are doing ourselves. This is our thing. This is the delusionary state of mind. We don't know, so somebody shows some magic, we say, "Whoa, that's great." So that's ignorance, because there is no Gyan. If there's Gyan, nobody can tell you what to do. You do yourself. You are your boss. You see? If we don't know how to think, how to look at things, how to listen, how can we act? We cannot do karma. Right? There is no way we can do karma. That is why I heard somebody tell me one time, karma is avidya's prakriya. Prakriya means the way, the method of action. So avidya, the ignorance, works through karma. You follow now? So if we don't have Gyan, we still do karma, because everybody comes in this world, all human beings have got to perform karma. That's what Bhagavan said. You cannot live even a moment without doing karma. Or why? Because we all have avidya. So avidya is what makes karma happen. And that karma is sansar karma, the karma of this sansar, which is being instigated by Devata. They give us all the tools to do it, and they tell us, do this, do that. And they make us think like we are thinking. It's our thought process. So, we cannot really act. Now, once you have Gyan, that's why understanding what Devata is, what they do, how they act, what they are made up of, is very important. Once you know that, then you can take charge of things. And the only way you know that is through Gyan. You follow now? So main thing is Paramatma Bhakti. You can get Gyan from Ishwar only if you qualify for it. So we have to, it's up to us to make ourselves worthy of getting Gyan, Ishwar Gyan. And that's what all this sadhana is, all this exercise, abhyas we do, that's what it is. So in Islam, Christianity and Judaism, I was reading a really old copy of Quran which I had which he belonged to my Guruji, and when he passed away, I got all his books. So I was looking into it. So, and their respective Paigambars are Muhammad, Isa, and Musa. All these were Mahatmas. They were all pretty high Jeev, accomplished Jeev. And Quran, Bible, and Torah, all three are revered scriptures. But none seem to have Parameshwar Gyan in them. They have the order, what Parameshwar tells them, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. But what Parameshwar is not there. Can't find it. And without it, karma cannot be performed properly. And that is what the problem going on these days. Everybody has different interpretation of God. This is God, they say this is God. And everybody has different gods. And they say our God is better than your God. Do what our God says. So the followers of these religious faith interpret the scriptures according to their bias. Those three Mahatmas they're not involved, they did not authorize all this, but the followers caused the problem. This has been causing a lot of problem. Here in Gita, what we are learning is Parameshwar Gyan. In Parameshwar Gyan, there is no guesswork. It is absolute. This is what it is. You cannot argue, you cannot second guess it, you cannot do anything to it. This is it. So it is important that we learn it and try to follow this and put in our life accordingly, to live our life according to it. Because when it's absolute, that means it is the truth. And if we live with that, then our life will be truthful life. We cannot go wrong anywhere. The word man, manushya, they all come from man, the one who has man. See? So, and all the karma which man does, humans do, manushya does, start with man. That's why it is only manushya who can do the karma. So, we're going to take up from where we stopped last time. Having told Arjuna about the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhagavan continues the topic of Karma Yoga in light of Karma Sannyas. We saw that after listening to Bhagavan in Slok 1 to 3 and 4, Arjun posed a question. He poses a question to Bhagavan in Slok 4.
Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha kathame tadvijaniyam tvamadau proktavaniti.
Try to visualize that Bhagavan Sri Krishna is in front of Arjun. He and Arjun are similar in age. They are contemporaries. And here Bhagavan is telling that I told this Gyan to Vivasvat, who was born long time ago, thousands and tens of thousands of years ago, in different kalp, in the beginning of that kalp. So Arjun is thinking how it can be that Krishna gave this Gyan of Karma Yoga to Vivasvat. See, Arjun is thinking only in terms of his gross body, the sthul sharir, and not the subtle body. This is the reason for his doubt. So Arjun says, you are born recently, while the birth of Vivaswan dates back to remote antiquity. How am I to believe that you imparted this yoga at the beginning of the creation? You're born, I seen you. You are my contemporary. You are no much older than I am. So you tell me how do I believe that? Now here we will take an example. We all do some action in our childhood, right? And we do the same action in other stages of our life till we leave this body. We keep doing the same action, right? We did that same action in different stages of our life. We can see all those actions. However, upon leaving this body, we cannot see them, what we did. So Jeev identifies the action with the body. That's what Jeev does. This is because of Gyan. Because it is the same body which he goes through in different stages. We look ourselves in the mirror every day, but we do not consider ourselves to be old, do we? No, because we look same as we looked yesterday. So, if somebody else comes and tells us that your face has changed, we don't want to believe that, do we? So we are identifying all our actions with our body. When the body goes away, then we don't know what actions we did, right? The body does go through a change, but not Atma. You see, who's looking in there? Who's looking in the mirror? Through the eyes. Huh? Atma looking through there. Atma doesn't change. But face does change. So other people looking at you after so many years, or a few days, months, years, wow, you really have changed. But you don't believe that. Right? Bhagavan replies to Arjun by going into the many births of both of them. Bhagavan says, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tav charjuna. He says that both of us have been born. You and I have passed through many births. Vyatitani means we have passed through many births. I know them all, while you do not know them. Hey Paramtap, you don't know any of them. You only know what you are in right now. Clearly here Bhagavan is telling that he knows all the previous births, while Arjun, you do not. Arjun was not an ordinary person. He has a lot of jnana. However, his buddhi lacked purity, which is required to receive such jnana. Buddhi has to be very pure, no bias in it. Then and only jnana comes. See, we look at this way. We all say that Ishwar is everywhere. Right? And in English there is a word called omnipresent, sarv vyapak. Right? So if Ishwar is everywhere, then his jnana is everywhere too. Right? So why can't you get it? Because we have put on a shield around us, shield of our karma, which has changed our mind, our buddhi, everything has changed. It's the ahankar which is shielding us from getting that jnana. Once that shield is removed, jnana will automatically come in. There is no other way, because there. Jnana has a lot of power, but doesn't interfere with our actions. Bhagavan says, I'm not going to interfere what you do. It's up to you what you do. You have to improve yourself. Right? So Arjun's buddhi was not at that stage of purity where he could understand all this. His buddhi was unable to see the karma or the subtle body, sukma sharir. He could only see what was being done at present by the gross body. So he says all these people lined up against him, all the relatives, ready to fight. That's all he sees. He doesn't know what's anything else other than that. And then he says, I'm going to kill them all, and then I'll doing horrendous karma. So I don't want to fight. So he can only see what is being done, what he sees from his eyes. Bhagavan is telling that Atma is same, but it has gone through many bodies. It's the same Atma. Bodies have changed. I know them all, but you do not. Naturally, it will raise a question in the mind of Arjun as to why. Why do I don't see them and you know them all? You know all the bodies, births, but I do not. Right? So, before Arjun puts any question in this regard, Bhagavan says, he just goes right into it before he puts the
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani Janmani tava charjuna Tanyaham veda sarvani Natvam vetha parantapa Ajopi sannavyayatma Bhutanam ishwaropi san Prakritim swamadhisthaya Sambhavamyatma mayaya
Prakritim swamadhisthaya Sambhavami atma mayaya. Bhagavan says, He's saying that although I am birthless and the changeless and of changeless nature, right? Nature means changeless Sarup. Sarup never changes. Still, I who am the Ishwar of all beings, everybody, every living being, I am Ishwar of the being, yet subjugating my Prakriti, I manifest myself. Prakat, manifestation, manifest myself, and through my own Maya, through my own Prakriti. So what he's saying, he is in control. He comes in when he wants to come in, when he needs to come in. He doesn't need anybody to tell him when to come in. He manifests himself through his own powers. So there is nobody, no other energy power bringing him in this world. See? So he's telling him that Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. I just happen. Sambhav means happen through my own Maya. And that Maya controls the whole world, whole creation. So it is the Maya is subordinate to Ishwar. Maya does what Ishwar wants. So how can Maya tell him what to do, when to come in? He decides when it's time to come in. So I'll explain this slok in detail, since there are several concepts in a correct way. There are a lot of concepts which people don't understand here. Bhagavan tells Arjun that I know all births because I am not born like you. But we all have read the story of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, that he was born, correct? Devaki's Nandan, we call him. So how can we reconcile this? In this slok, Bhagavan used the word ajopi. The word is ajo api. It's made out of two words, aj and api. Api means even though. I am what? Aj. Aj means, in Sanskrit, it means the one who is not born. Ajanma. And api. So in Sanskrit, aj means one who is not born. Here Bhagavan uses this term to say that he is always mukt. Because we talked earlier, birth is through bondage, right? Because we are born in this world. We are given a body to come into. So that's bondage. Bhagavan says, I'm never born. I do not have a necessity for taking birth in sansar. I don't need to come here. Birth is always taken to fulfill a necessity, which I do not have. I have everything. I don't need anything. Why Jeev come into this world? To enjoy the fruit of his action. That's the only purpose we come here. That's the purpose the body is given, and the kind of body given to us, how long we are given to stay here, is all what we have earned through our karma. And that's what we have to, we get the phal of that karma, the fruit of that action. And there is no way that we cannot say, oh, I don't want this fruit of action. It doesn't taste very good. I don't want this. No. Whatever you have earned, you're going to have to face it. But Bhagavan says, he is akarma, he is akarta. He has no karma. So he don't need to be coming here. He has got no need to come to this world. And I am also Abhyaya Atma. Unlike yours, my Atma is imperishable. That's what he's saying. That means your Atma is perishable, correct? Logic will say that. So, Ishwar of all beings. I am Ishwar of all beings. I am the Lord of everyone, every living thing. So now the word Aj has another meaning here. If you look at Aj, Aj has one is Ajanma. The second meaning is instigator or Chalak, or the one who propels forward. Okay? Ishwar doesn't need any Chalak. We need Chalak. Ishwar is his own Chalak. Right? He propels himself. Ishwar does this for himself and also propels others. Okay? Who are these others? Those who are his bhakt. He propels them forward. But we need some power to instigate us to do certain things. For example, you may think of doing something today, then you forget it, right? So it's registered in our mind that we thought about doing something, but we forgot about it. But later on, the same thing comes in front of you again. So some power is bringing that same thought again. My goodness, I should have done that. Let me do it now. Right? So that power is what is instigating us to do certain action. Bhagavan doesn't say, I don't need it. I am my own instigator. I am it. So Ishwar is his own instigator and comes into sansar himself on his own accord, with his own powers, in his own terms. Nobody dictates nothing to him. Here Bhagavan is pointing out that his Atma is mukt, is not under any bondage. He is free to come and go whenever he wants to. Jeeves come under bondage in this sansar. Jeev is dependent on three entities when he comes in this sansar. First one is called Dehabhimanni Devta. That Devta which gave us this body. Devta put together this body for us. And that Devta takes Abhiman, means protects this body. If somebody does something to a person, his Devta will automatically protect him. Like a lot of people are protected by in these plane crashes. The Devta tells them, don't go there. Put some hurdle in their path, and they miss the flight, and they are saved. Or some people may be saved anyway. Even if they are in the crash, they get saved for some reason or the other. So it's that Devata, they have money, which gave this body to us, all of us. That's the one protects. In English, we may call guardian angel. This Devata is the one which has given us the body and is the one who administers the karma phal in this body. He is the administrator. So, if we have some pleasure or some pain, that's the only two experience in the body, pleasure or pain. That Devta is behind it. The second power which controls us is called Karmabhimanni Devta. This Devta is the one whose karma have been done by us, and this Devta also collects when its turn comes. So when its time comes to collect, the Devta will come and interfere in your life and get something out of it, whatever you owe to that Devta. Then third one is called Sanlagna. It is a small part of Maya, very small part of Maya, which is always with us. And that is what in Advait they call Brahma. So this Sanlag is the one which instigates us to, pushes our buttons, do this, now do this. You said you're gonna hit this person, now this is your time to do it. Go ahead. Okay? It just makes us do certain things, puts us into the karma mode. It instigates Jeev to continue with the karma that Jeev has beforehand thought. He has initiated with his thought and forgot about it. This Devta will instigate it. So, Jeev, who is also birthless, in that word meaning of the word, Aj, Jeev is also birthless, just like Ishwar. But when you look at the meaning of Aj as Prerak or Chalak or instigator, Jeev is not. He is being instigated by some external power. So that's what the problem is. There's similarity, but they are not same. In this meaning of the word, since it is instigated by and brought into sansar by Devta, thus Jeev is instigated by these three powers. Who are these three? They are Abhimani, Karma Abhimani and Sanlag. They are the main controllers. Now we take the shlok again. Here Bhagavan says, Ajopi, son. I am birthless and my own instigator. Correct? I propel myself forward. Abhay Atma. My Atma is imperishable. Jeev Atma is also imperishable. However, it depends on other powers. Like I think we discussed before, in our man, there is a power of Brahma. Buddhi, Vishnu. Like that, these devtas are conducting our mind, our buddhi, our ahankar, everything. We don't have control over it. So, when they are the one controlling our, and these four together are also called Atma. Because they are the one which propels Jeev forward in samsara. We saw what is the meaning of Atma. Atma means the one which propels himself. It comes from the word, which I'll go a little later on, in Sanskrit word atan, at. So that means move forward, wander, move forward, keep going. That's what Atma means. Atma means the one which keeps you moving forward. So Atma is the power which keeps Jeev moving forward in samsara. Forward means keep doing karma, instigate into doing different karma and keep on moving on and on and on. We always want to do something, don't we? We cannot sit idle. We have to do something all the time. So that's our man, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. That Atma is doing it. Bhagavan says that part of me is Avyaya. It's me, it's my power. It never changes. It's always the same. I am doing my job. I like to do same thing all the time. I don't get bored. With Jeev, his Atma is always thinking of new things. The conscious part of Atma keeps bringing new thoughts in our mind all the time. So it's not Avyaya, it's changing all the time. So in that way, when you look at this way, this shlok telling us that our Atma, the one which is propelling the Jeev forward in samsara, is not Avyaya. It changes. So, whereas Ishwar's Atma is own power, it never changes. And it is independent, swatantra. Bhutanami Sharopisan. I am Ishwar of all beings. Now, Ishwar means, I think I said before what Ishwar means. Ish means master, and Var means the best. So, the best master of all the living beings, all the beings, that's what I am. There are all kind of masters, right? You work for somebody, that person is a master, right? Teacher is a master. So we have all kind of masters. But Bhagavan says, I am my best master of all. Why? Because it is me, which he'll go later on. I am the only one who can take you and get your karma all finished. Help you remove all your karma and get you to moksha. No one else can. If I come in sansar, I come through my own Maya Shakti. The body in which Ishwar appears. You see, now the question comes, he also has a body. Just like us. He's got a body, he's got flesh, he's got bones and everything. So body in which Ishwar appears is purified by 3 forms of his own Maya. Thus that body is perfect. There is no flaw in Ishwar's body when Ishwar comes in. Bhagavan was also telling Arjuna that your jnana is limited to what you are at that time, any given time. That's what your jnana is limited. So what is the word for that is ekdeshi. You only can think of where you are right now. You don't know what's going to be in future, what happened, you forgot what happened in the past, you don't know correctly. So, I know everything at all times, Bhagavan says. You don't. I know everything at all times. And that's how he could say that I know about all the births and you don't. In the last slok, which is slok 5, Bhagavan said that there have been many births of yours and mine. I know them all, but you do not. There are several types of rebirths. It's not just one type of birth, there are different kinds of births. We, Jeev, take on 3 types of bodies. Our bodies we have 3 kinds of bodies. The first body, this body we call our body, which we can touch, is called the gross body, sthul sharir. The second body is called subtle or sukshma sharir, subtle body. We cannot see it. And the third one is called karan sharir. Karan sharir. Karan body. The sthul sharir is given to Jeev or to us to experience the fruit of our actions. This body is born to start the bhog and dies at the completion of the bhog. When the karma bhog is finished, then body is finished. That's what sthul body is. The subtle body or the sukshma sharir remains as long as there is a vasana or the desire that creates a longing impression on the mind. That's what vasana is. Okay? Is it clear? There is a desire, right? We want this. But when that desire becomes so strong that it creates a longing impression on our mind, we don't want to forget. We never forget that thing. We have to have it, right? Over and over and over again, all the time. That is what vasana is. As long as we have that vasana, we have that sukshma sharir with us. Right? That's what the subtle body is there. Cannot get rid of it. And this is a bondage. In chapter 15, Bhagavan says that upon death, our senses go with us. And those senses are actually modified through that vasana that we have. And that vasana goes with us all the time. So, what is this vasana that we all have? The longing, desire for something. Huh? The vasana is to enjoy the pleasures. As long as we, the jeev, have this vasana to enjoy the pleasures, we will keep coming back and coming back and coming back to enjoy. Now, what are these pleasures? These pleasures are not pleasures of Atma. They are the pleasures of senses. Okay? They become so strong that we have to have them all the time. Sense gratification. And it doesn't get completed in one life, so it becomes vasana. And we come back again, do the same thing over and over and over again. And we have to come in this whole body to experience it, and then this body goes away, then we come back again. So that's what. It's a bondage. This is the cause why we keep taking births, one after the other. So it's a bondage. So our birth is under bondage. Ishwar doesn't have any desire. He doesn't need anything, right? So he's not bonded by it. So he can come whenever he wants to come. Now it is important for us to understand that here the pleasures are those which are derived from the senses. Okay? Somebody likes certain taste, right, for food. They'll go to any length to find that food somewhere, right? If it's not in Melbourne, they go to Orlando or they go to New York. Man, that restaurant was the best restaurant I ever ate in, right? What is that? They get sense gratification of taste. And you get gratification for a moment when you are eating the food, it's gone. Then you long for it. But when next time we're going to go there, right? That is what vasana is. It becomes a vasana. We are not satisfied what we get to eat. You know, we have to have this food, or this food is not as good as the other food. And so our mind keeps on going back and forth into this whole nonsense, which doesn't mean anything. Okay? So next time we go to Orlando, just make a trip to go there to eat. Think about it. Okay? You can have the same food at home. Why go all this way? And what happens actually when you go with this kind of motive in your mind, something can go wrong on the way while you're going up there or coming down from there. Now, if you're going for some other purpose and happen to be on the way, then it's different. But don't ever want to go like that and say, hey, I got to go to taste that food there. That creates a problem. You just be alert because that sanlagna is pushing you to go there and making you do certain things, that devata, and you're going to get in trouble or whatever. Something will happen or could happen. So wanting these pleasures over and over is due to moh or delusion, which in turn is due to ajnan. With jnana, the cover of this body is removed. Then there is karan sharir. So this cover, this vasana is gone. Then there is a karan sharir. Now that karan sharir is the sharir of Vishesh Jnani. One who has a Vishesh Jnana. He's right there in front of Parameshwar. His Jnana is such that he purified himself and he's right there in front of Parameshwar. And that sharir is through which, after that sharir, there is nothing else but moksha. So Paramatma gives moksha. So there are three sharirs that we have. The worst one is sthul sharir because comes and goes. It gives us pleasure and pain, mostly pain, very little pleasure. Okay? Then there is subtle body, which is propelling us to come into this sthul sharir through vasana. So we have get rid of that vasana. When you get rid of that vasana, get all your karmas are finished, then become the karan sharir, point of no return, and then you over to moksha. It is worth thinking that we come in this sansar under bondage. So who are we? Question I ask, who are we? What do you think what we are? We are the jeev who come in this sansar under bondage to suffer and create our own problem for the next life through our vasana. Because we have no jnana. So we are ajnani, right? But we can get jnana and get out of this cycle of birth and death. That's what Gita is teaching us. We experience these pleasures and pain by being dependent on some other power. In sansar, our life is that of slave. Just think about it. Our life is that of slave. We are told what to do. We are made to do things. That's what slavery is. Das. So that's why Ishwar Bhakt says, Aap Malik, Main Das. You are my master, I am your servant. Correct? That's the reality. And when that person will say that, when his ego is gone quite a bit. As long as that ego, I am something. As long as we think I am something, I am this, I am that, I am so famous, no, forget it. When the feeling comes into our mind that we are really helpless, we are being controlled in this sansar, we are das. So please help me, my master, help. Okay? See? Like a dog wags his tail, looking at master, similarly, we behave so that we can get something to gratify our senses. You see, we go to other person, we have to go do something, help somebody, do something, this or that, or whether we like or not, we go and say, oh, you are really great, you are a wonderful person, so we can get something from that guy. We do it all the time, don't we? Every moment of the day we do that, whether we realize or not, because we want something from this sansar. So just like a dog, we are wagging our tail all the time. Some people go and praise a lot of these rich people, right? Maybe we'll get something out of it, right? So that's what our life is here in this world. Until we attain freedom from all these devata, our bondage will remain. But we always go to what? Devata puja, right? We go to temples and go do this and do. Somebody goes to Shiv, somebody goes to Devi. I want this. That's the only reason we go there, right? Because we want something. Just like dog wagging his tail. That's what they're doing. And they are not in control of themselves. We will remain bound to pleasures and pains. And that devata will give you a little bit pleasure and then boom, man, you got to pay for it for a long time. So all these big temples and everything, they're all devata. So what you get there? You go there to do some prayer so I can get something, right? Wanting something all the time. Bhagavan says, I am Ishwar of all. All these devata are under my control. They are because of me. Right? You ask me for it directly. You don't have to go all these devata. You will get it. Somebody wants a lot of money. He goes praise to Lakshmi. Right? Bhagavan says, come to me, ask me, I'll tell Lakshmi to give it to you. Okay? Look in Mahabharata. When Arjun was getting ready to go to war, Bhagavan Krishna called Durga. At his command, Durga comes in his command. And he tells what to do. You follow? So why go to somebody else when you can go to one person who is in charge, who controls everything? And he says that come to me and I'll give it to you if you want. Yoga Shema Vahamyaham. Whatever you need will be provided to you. As long as you keep your end of bargain, you'll be fine. So, Arjun was looking at this Thul Sharir, this gross body. Therefore, he was unable to understand what Bhagavan said. That I told this Gyan to Vivaswan. Now, the human births happen in several ways. One of these through the offspring, Santan. We take birth through our children also. Human incarnate in their children. During the ceremony in which the child is given name or the Namakaran Sanskar, the father lifts the child up in his hand, raises him up in the hand and says, Atmavai Nam Putrosi. It is my Atma that has manifested in you as a Putra. Putra doesn't mean son. Putra means both, as an offspring. Therefore, you are to follow in my footsteps and carry on the parampara or the heritage. So the father says that by giving you the name, I am making you a representative of my ancestors. This birth is called the birth in the form of Putra. So Atma takes birth in different ways. So Jeev and Ishwar both take birth, but the birth of Jeev is that of bondage, whereas that of Ishwar is free, mukt birth. For example, here I'll give you an example. In a prison, the prisoners go in there tied up. Right? The hands behind their back, they're tied up. They go there. They're locked up in there. They cannot go out as they please. There are certain times they are allowed to go, do exercise, do this, and they are told everything to do. Right? They have little or no freedom. However, the jailer in charge, he can come and go as he pleases, can't he? Right? Both are inside the prison. But one is bound, tied up, other one is free. The difference is one is bound and the other one is free. Those who come in this world will go. Kabir says, those who come in this world will have to go. Aaye hain, so jayenge. Whether they are king, pauper or saint, whatever they all have to go. The difference is that the one who is free of bondage, the saint, lives like a king, and the others under bondage. What is the bondage? We just talked, vasana. The saint, he has no vasana, he has no desire for anything which is in this world. So he goes free, as like a king. Here is one difference in which I like to point out that is that all Devata are in eternal bondage. Devata will never be free. They are in eternal bondage. If they are not, the sansar would not run like a clockwork like it does. They are the one who runs the sansar, the srishti. Sun comes out at the right time, moon and all that stuff. So, how one is to eternally bound can give us mukti? One who is eternally bound, like devatas are in eternal bondage, how can they give mukti? They don't even know what moksha is. You see? We don't think about that part. We go to them for. Another thing we just talked about, that when Ishwar comes in sansar, he comes under his own power, his own maya, and he comes in the body which is the purest of the pure. There can be nothing purer than that, right? And Ishwar avatar has no sadness, no sorrow, no dukh, never. Always, because Ishwar is Anand. Can never be. Bhagavan Krishna came, he never had any problem. Anything came in front of him, gone, finished. He's laughing, he's smiling, he's having fun. But on the other hand, when Ram came, he had so many problems, didn't he? He has to face so many problems. So it cannot be Ishwar. Ishwar will never have any problem coming in there because he is the master. He is the person in charge. He does what he wants to do. Nobody can come in his way. Whereas in Ram's case, what happened? He had to go in exile, and then Ravan abducted Sita, and he had to go through all these things. So he was, if you look at that correctly, he is Devata. Devata can do all this. He has to go through all this because they are in bondage. But, so, think about it. Only Ishwar can do that which is pointed out by Bhagavan from time and time again in the Gita. Before we go any further, it is important to learn the word Atma. What is word Atma means? Atma means to be on the move all the time. Within us, there is a conscious, or the chit is always on the move. Our chit is always on the move. It never rests. Whether we are sleeping or awake, we are always, thought process keeps going on and on and on. That is our Atma. The four faculties we talked about before, which are part of us, mind, buddhi, chit and ego, together is called Atma, because they are the four which propels Jeev forward in the sansar. When these become part of Jeev, the Jeev is Jeevatma. See? The Jeev and Atma, Jeevatma. Jeev, now for our Atma, if our Atma is always on the move, which we talked about, and the Ishwar is also on the move all the time. But the difference is that our Atma is in bondage, whereas Ishwar is totally free. Therefore, he is Param Atma. You see, there is Atma, our Atma which is in bondage, and the one which is not in bondage is Paramatma. It got to be bigger, higher. Paramatma. So that when you say Paramatma, that is the Ishwar incarnate, Paramatma. So in this slok, Bhagavan is telling Arjun that I manifest myself in this creation of mine under my will, with my own power. Now the question arises that why one who is mukt would take birth? Alright? It's a natural question. The one which is under bondage has got no choice, got to take birth. But why one who is mukt, why would he take birth? We take birth under the bondage of our karma, but Ishwar is mukt, why does he accept birth? The one who is mukt should not have to take birth. All devatas they take birth. The birth of devata is not complete. See, in our body, all the devata taken birth also. Their birth is not complete, like only a fraction of their power is in us. So in that way, they are taking birth. When a human being comes in the world, that devata shakti comes with it. So that's devata birth. So in the eyes, there is a fraction of the power of the sun, Surya Devata. Similarly, in pran, there is a fraction of Shakti of Vayu Devata. So on and so forth. So this is the birth of Devata. And we can call that Ansh Avatar because they are only fractionally coming in. They are not complete in us. So that's called Ansh Avatar. But when Ishwar comes in, he is complete. So he is complete Avatar. Ishwar accepts Avatar for the sole purpose of releasing Jeev from the bondage and making them mukt. So the avatar of Devata in us is Ansha Avatar, Ishwar Avatar is Purna Avatar, Sampurna Avatar, is complete. So, but what happens then? Ishwar accepts Avatar for the sole purpose of releasing Jeev from their bondage. That's the only purpose Ishwar does it. And that is his Kripa. By making them mukt. That's why Bhagavan says,
Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge.
Now here Bhagavan says, why do I appear? Why do I take birth? We will go into that in detail. He says that, O descendant of Bharat, tadatmanam sarjamyaham. That means I bring about my Atma. I come myself in this world. For the uddhar of sadhunam, paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya dushkratam. So he's coming for what? He is coming to get sadhus who have really done the bhakti and gone up and they have really done what they're supposed to do as a human being. They are sadhu. They have control of their senses. And to protect them and give them moksha. And vinashaya dushkratam. Those who are doing dushkrat, the forbidden actions, I come here to destroy them. Bhagavan Krishna did the same thing. And what is the next step? Dharma sanstana. Why I do that? Dharma sanstana. To establish the dharma, eternal dharma of humans, which is to do what? To do Ishwar Bhakti. That is the dharma of humans. That's why human body is given. All devatas are in there. All the powers are in there. So we can do Ishwar Bhakti. Right? So that dharma, establishing that dharma, I come in all the time whenever I need to come. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Sambhavami. I happen in all yugas. Nobody makes me do that. So we'll go into that in detail next time. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.